First, let me appreciate the efforts of the Lake Region Blue Economy Multi-Agency Technical Committee that has put together the national government agencies and governors of the Lake Region counties. From the onset, I think let's be clear that this multi-agency and intergovernmental arrangement is a fulfillment of the Kenya Kwanza government strategy of a people-centered development, now commonly referred as the bottom-up. As a former managing director of Lake Basin Development Authority, I take pride in being a founder of this framework and do express my joy that the resources various agencies put together in facilitating this framework is now bearing fruit sooner than was expected. And I must thank the Director General, Kenya Maritime Authority, for taking the lead in this. As a ministry charged with coordination of national government, we are coming together as agencies to spearhead blue economy development within the Lake Victoria Basin makes our work quite easy. When organizations work together, synergy is built and misallocation of resources emanating from duplication of efforts and working in silos is minimized. For the government and in its fulfillment of the Kenyan Constitution, the rights of ordinary citizens come first. Our assessment of your cooperation will therefore be based on the value of your coming together as done in the lives of ordinary citizens. In the Lake region, we have in mind the paddy farmers in Kano Plains, Yala Swamp, Budalangi, the fisher folk doing business along the shores of Lake Victoria and its feeder rivers, the horticulture and fruit tree farmers, the small-scale sugarcane, tea and coffee farmers, and the small-scale farmers in the livestock, that is dairy and beef farmers, the artisan miners, all spread across the region, specifically in Siaya, Kakamega, and Migori counties. Now, in recognition of your tireless efforts as the government aligns the 2023-2024 performance contract as part of its bottom-up agenda, we commit to request the ministries and state departments concerned to consider including blue economy activities in their revised contracts. Done this way, agencies and county governments will have blue economy specific budget lines. It is these budget lines that the Lake Region Blue Economy Multi-Agency Technical Committee would put together into a monitoring and evaluation tool that would in turn provide periodic reports on the agencies. I'm glad to learn that the Lake Region Blue Economy Multi-Agency Framework has already mainstreamed into the Lake Region Economic Bloc member counties, the CIDPs, and now recommend that member agencies should also maintain blue economy in their annual work plans. Now, having been a founder member of this framework, there is so much I've wished to say, but because of time, I'm certain that we will be able to have a lot of engagements. In terms of commitments, there is what the ministry commits to ensure that we follow up with our colleagues in the various state departments so that then we properly mainstream issues to do with the blue economy in our performance contracts, but also in our budgets. The other commitment which is critical to take note of is that there's a lot that the national government is doing across and more specifically within this region. I've seen our colleagues from the Kenya Shipyards Limited, and I would urge that if you're a visitor to this town, get some time and go to the port and see the work that they have done together with the Kenya Ports Authority. I saw Captain Ruto here. There's a ship that has been built from scratch, and the president will be back in May to actually launch it. And we expect the other presidents from the region to participate in that. There is the famous Lake Victoria Ring Road, which is in the pipeline, and that will be connecting the counties along the lake, starting all the way from Busia down to Migori. So those are already commitments and their work in progress that is that the government is undertaking, specifically to support the blue economy, but also to support the development that is happening in this region. Most recently, in the President's visit, there are engagements and there are commitments as well that have been made. Still within the lake, there is a rehabilitation of the piers in Homa Bay County, that is in Kindu Bay, in Homa Bay, and Beta. And all this would go a long way in improving the state and the activities that we are having conversation on today. Is what within my State Department we are already doing with the Kenya Coast Guard services, just to support in the improvement of security within our waters. And with the regional team led by the regional commissioner and the county commissioner present here, we are also supporting the activities of all the other agencies, including those in the private and public sector, just to ensure that we have a good environment for
the progress that has been made. And so far I've seen a lot of work that has been put into place. I just want to urge that now going forward, let's transform those ideas into action, and as Kenya Maritime Authority, we'll be present to work with you in this journey and support the development of the blue economy in this region.
Providers where we are not sharing at all every year. So if you are to focus and get the resources of the blue economy, in fact, we should stop investing in the port, because port there is already well developed, and focus on how do we go into shipping and share part of this 300 billion. And this should fill up our conversation to see how it works out. And so the revival of Kenya National Shipping Line is critical. It was done and it's still going on a process, but we must find a way out so that we can be able to share in the actual shipping. If you look at it in totality, I don't want to go into the statistics, but you realize that there are around 15 different clusters. When I say clusters, I'm talking of transport, maritime transport as a cluster on its own. We have tourism as a cluster on its own, several clusters. If you count them individually, they are coming to about 15 of them. And within these 15 clusters, there are 87 different skills that you can be able to train. And so these are figures, and these are places that we need to focus our attention to be able to bring out what the blue economy has for us. But it's not possible if you don't know what skills the university should train, and the university don't know what the industry wants to absorb, and the challenges of the sea-time training for the people who are venturing into engineers and pilots. We have just to come together to find out how best can we be able to harness the blue economy. The conventions came from different countries, and this was the only way they told us it works. Otherwise, in a very fragmented format, you don't get the synergies. You don't even attract the interest to be able to be supported, because there are brothers who have already developed.